Greetings, how do you do? Thank you for your presence. I'm really excited to be joined by a couple of very knowledgeable and wise individuals. A couplet. Thank you very much for joining me, Crystal and Nicholas. How do you do?
We do good.
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm grand. I feel like it's a very funny time of year because we call it the festive time, but yet it's Capricorn time, which is not as festive as Sagittarius time.
Right. I think that's why it is the festive time, to keep our spirits up.
It's the counterbalance.
Yeah. That's exactly the story, isn't it? In all of the the Scrooge story, and like this, like where you got to try and keep the spirits and the morale high, and it's about stoking the fires so that you can support yourself through the long, cold, hard, what they would call winter. Obviously, it's not winter for everybody, but it is Capricorn time for everyone.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah.
So what does Capricorn mean for you guys? Have you got any Capricorn placements? Firstly, I would like to introduce you as we're going to be talking about, obviously, health with regards to astrology. How do you title this? And you're also very fine musicians as well. So can you express your talents and gifts before we get into the topic, please? Introduce yourselves.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm Crystal Cavalier, and my main gift I was given is the gift of music, primarily. And recently, in the last 6 years, I've been diving deep into astrology and learning the medical aspects of it, and really enjoyed that. So.
Yep. My name's Nicolas Schizzano, or Schizzano in Italian. Yep, I'm a bit of a musician myself. I have Taurus rising, and for what you were asking earlier, for Capricorn, I have Uranus. So my business would be astrology, because Uranus is astrology, and it's conjoined North Node, so that sort of amplifies it, makes it into my future. And it's also conjoined Neptune, which it incorporates a combining theme, like syncretism, where I combine astrology to health and theology, which a lot of people are doing.
Yeah, so I feel like this Neptune in Capricorn, as we are coming on board now, it's our time to try and take the reins of the responsibility of being handed the baton that is the world, our world, that we're inheriting. We've got, because Neptune is the oceanic, we're washing away the old things, and so it's erosive of what was a dead old crusty old template, a right old rigmarole to work with. And we're finding that we can transcend this and kind of find maybe a template which is inclusive of more. So it's not just, okay, well, now we're changing the doctrine. It's actually maybe templates like a logos can have much of all-inclusive and an all-inclusive nature to it. So it's just about re-educating what said labels mean, or words. Maybe it's about facts that we can't just use one word to describe certain things, because it's going to hold prejudice and a biased reflection to somebody. Would you agree with all these types of things?
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
This is the Capricorn at the moment, and also very relevant for now. That's your life. This is our life. And so, but right now, we have Mercury stationing in Capricorn, and it's in a sextile to Neptune this whole next couple of weeks, as well as Mars also doing a station. And it's in Gemini. And so it's about our communication and our identification with foundations and how we incorporate these things with meaning. What depth do they have? And where have they lost their depth? And so astrology is originally about the body, the zodiac, and it's a healing template. It's about the zoo of archetypes within the temple. And this is about Capricorn templates, if you will. We're reinstating the authorization of what has been lost. And you guys are profound experts on these areas. I mean, so I'm excited for us to learn a little bit about where we've lost our way with regards to our connection to the body and the garden, which is the reflection of the body that holds all the medicine.
Right. Yeah, I think what it comes down to is the Hippocratic oath, or part of it anyways, where you can't study the body and like medicine without knowing astrology.
Would that be, you could say that could be considered our Hippocratic oath?
Or
Because,
part of it, yeah.
Because she's referring to the quote of
Yeah.
Hippocrates, where a doctor who doesn't know astrology cannot call himself a doctor.
It's quite funny. I mean, like, for a moment there, in a sense, I was like, are you saying that all of these guys are actually there's a word also called that, which is isn't that hypocrite?
I know,
So,
right?
so you're saying that these guys actually, they are astrologers, but they're denying it. They're in denial of the fact that they know astrology.
Well, yeah, that's a good connection.
Maybe. Yeah, subconsciously.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I actually remember, I've got to tell you this. This is going straight to the core of my issues, and in medicine. I went to the doctors in 2015, and I was talking about parasites, and they slammed me on steroid pills then,
Oh wow.
and I've been on them since.
Oh my goodness.
7 years. And so we're going on 8 years, and the Ocho, and and I'm like bowing out of it. I've got to get out of it because my body is, you know, a
Yeah.
temple. It needs to be cleaned pronto. And so just to give you my little bit of information about pharmaceuticals, Lord Rothschild, I don't know if he's a Lord, a Rothschild, one of them back in the day, in the late 1900s, actually outlawed like the astrology medicine reel and put pharmaceuticals in line as being, basically forward, and paid off doctors to basically lie and divorce the system. This is something that happened, just like how the same time they created races for the different nations.
Right.
Wow, I didn't know that. So he had something to do to separate astrology from medicine,
Yes.
the Rothschilds.
Mhm.
Oh man, of course. Maybe I have heard that.
Yeah.
But that was over a century ago. And so now it's our job to bring this back in. I mean, maybe we were his cohorts. Like, so basically it's our job to bring it back in, and I'm only expert of this side of astrology, and so I need to learn from you. So may you express some of the depth of how you've been practicing and discovering the beauty of the medicine wheel, which is the same as the astrology is also like a musical scale, as well as a color wheel.
Yeah, it's all syncretized together.
We could even say that our vocal cords and our ability to announce as your musicians, right, is actually the whole palette of the whole scale of all of the frequency we can create with our mouth box. And also that can be related to the pH scale and our spinal column. Yes. I'll hand it to you at this stage.
Okay.
Yeah, so for about 10 years, I've been studying astrology with the help of Mrastrotheology's channel, Santos Bonacci. And the medical aspect stood out to me to the most because within my chart, I have a stellium, Sun, Moon, Mars, and Pluto in Scorpio, which is considered a healer and the transformer of health, and the surgeon, but primarily it's in the 6th house of illness. So I've been kind of ill my whole life. Nothing crazy significant, pretty average really. But I've learned to heal myself, and then then I want to heal others because I know how to do it. And
that's the key, isn't it? Like, this is what I would like to do, is document my healing journey with pharmaceuticals, and because once you've established healing within yourself, you're able to share your gift, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, you basically just do good for yourself, and then it transfers over to everyone else because we're so connected. We're like, we're like a fungus growing off the earth. We're all connected, like all the plants are. We're we're one organism.
So as we take responsibility for our own ailment, we are healing. We're taking responsibility of our fractal, and it changes kaleidoscopically throughout the whole of the rest of it.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is your contribution, and each of them are fucking magnificent. Each of our contributions, aren't they? Because if they change us, they change the whole world.
Yeah.
So go on.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
open to receive. I'm open because this is obviously what we need in our times now. We all want to get off of the inorganic. It's just another block. It's just a procedure to waste of time. It's not healing anything.
No, it's a trick. It's a Neptunian trick. The pharmaceuticals, they're all synthetic, which is like Neptune's vices, like synthetic fake things that aren't
poisons,
and
Poseidon.
Yeah, poisons and Poseidon, and all the pharmaceuticals are they're all synthetic copies of plants, the true healers, because Virgo rules the botanical kingdom, and Virgo is the medicine healer, and opposite Virgo is Pisces, where they synthesize these plants, and then that's the only reason they work, any of the pharmaceuticals, because they do have qualities of the plant, but they have a million side effects because you can't exactly mimic a plant.
And there's additives and all sorts
It's
of
fun.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny? Now that if they mimic the plants into these compounds, and now they're doing mimicry of the body into this technology.
Right.
It's a very funny simile that's going on there.
Right. Huh.
Man, it's a lot of I really think it's the last hurrah of the Neptunian Piscean age, because when you do a birth chart and somebody has their sun 0 degrees, one of the signs will say 0 degree. We'll say, well, the ages go through backwards. So we're actually at 29 degrees Aquarius. And came from Pisces. So if you were to read a chart and they were at 29, 30 Aquarius, well, certainly they would have a lot of Piscean qualities, being they're so close to Pisces. And that's where we are in the ages. We're pulling both signs. We're right in the middle. So we're getting all this synthetic Poseidon, poisoning, deception, illusion, confusion. And then, now we're into Aquarius, and all the remnants are from it because we just came from 2,000 years of that age. Everything was built off that. Now we went into Aquarius, only half a degree, I think I figured out one time. We're only maybe about half, maybe not even half a degree in. And now all the truth stuff's coming out because Aquarius rules truth and freedom and technology and knowledge.
Alternative medicines.
Yeah. So we're totally right in between the two.
Is it going to be even more evident in these coming years as when Saturn is going into Pisces? So it's literally all of the old structures disintegrating, not holding true. We're seeing beyond the cracks in the foundation. We're seeing through it. And it's like, let's say, the Twilight Zone. So we're going to be actually finding that these things that we had become reliant upon won't even be there for us to prop us up. So even the pharmaceuticals will be gone. And we'll be like, shit, we fucking well need this medicine. If we're not educated and we haven't installed it into our communities, into our gardens, into our practice, then we're absolutely buggered. So this is the truth. And so this is why it resonates so strongly, whether people want to run from fear when they hear this information or whether they're magnetized to it because they want to empower themselves.
Yeah, true. I'm particularly looking forward to when the ruler of Pisces, Neptune, exits Pisces, because that's amplifying the Pisces frequency in the realm.
Well, this is what I see when we actually run out of this thing. It's like we go through the Twilight Zone and then we're like, okay, we're kids again without mummy, daddy, government, because the Saturn is going in there with Neptune in Aries. And so how do we recognize that we install this into our gardens? Have you been connecting into different communities? Like, have you been, what are you doing? What's like your knowledge database, and how are you practicing this? Are you growing your own herbs and plants that resonate with each of the signs?
Well, right now we're like not stable, so we don't have a garden. Like, we're moving around a lot. But
that's brilliant, isn't it? Because I think actually at this time Saturn is actually in a non-localized situation. So we want to be adorning ourselves with the ability to not necessarily have put this anchor down.
Right.
And so that we can share our gifts in different lands and different parts of constituency.
Right. Yeah. In the past, though, that's what I did. I was a market gardener. I had a huge garden, and I brought all the vegetables and herbs to the farmers market. So I have the knowledge, and I want to share the knowledge, and I would love to grow again. But yeah, we need to find a
we'll be
spot.
definitely growing plants and herbs with astrology, watering on, when the moon is at a certain phase or degree, or the ascendant is on a certain degree, and we'll be learning that. And
magnets. We want to experiment with magnets. I've never done that, like putting magnets in the soil, like magnetize the soil. Yeah. And that will help the plants grow bigger.
So you do it with the lunar moon and the magnets, and basically set the intention. And there's different times a year for each type of plant as well, isn't there? So you want to do it with regards to which zodiac sign is resonant with regards to the plant which you're practicing with that season. And then so you also be like, each year there'll be a new, each month there's a new seed sown, and there's a new harvest at the same time.
Yeah, definitely want to get into that. We haven't got into that too much. I was working with, which plant is assigned to which sign. That did get a bit overwhelming, and I sort of came to the conclusion that each plant has their own birth chart, has a sun, moon, rising, because it seems that everyone says something different, and then I see something different in that sign too, or in that plant. So it's a bit hard to assign that. But if you go based off of which, like we have in our book, which plant has the mineral for that sign, like thyme has potassium phosphate. Well, potassium phosphate for Aries, so you'd give an Aries with potassium phosphate, or
thyme. Yeah, the herb. Yeah,
that's good. Thyme's one of my favorite ones because it's aromatic.
Yeah.
And so it airs out we air out all of our layers of our story in time. And that's how we rise out of recording, or just going around blind. Because we rise like the pharaohs. In our own time, we will rise. And there's also this myth here. I think this is the mythology. This reminds me of time. Why would I say this mythology? But it's taught as history to English folks and the world, of Henry VIII, who was the king, and he had 8 wives, and he cut their heads off. It's the bloody good myths. But like, end of the day, he had a boat called Mary Rose, and that sank. Mary Rose. This is a very but Mary Rose is like, well, she rose, like so it's a bit like, okay, well, we know Santos Bonacci's work. We're talking about energetics here. We have a vibrational frequency, and you're laying down, taking whatever's coming to you, going around on the old Duff records, or you're standing up for yourself. So basically, this is taking pharmaceuticals. This is growing a garden. Basically, because the difference between long wave and short wave is basically the frequency. Are you out of tune? Are you in tune? Are you programmed, or are you conscious? It's the difference, and it's a bolt upright situation, or it's not. And so we see that with this, and this is taught through history, because that Mary Rose mythology isn't just playing on words. It's actually just so intrinsically connected to the ethos of this whole, and the pharaohs in general. There's so much to be tapped into with regards to how they've actually rewritten history. I think it's an absolute load of mythos. Anyway, this is a little bit off-piste.
Yeah.
Back to time.
Oh yeah, time. Yeah, you think it would be ruled by Saturn or Capricorn too? Well, it probably is, but that's what I say. It's pretty hard to read. I mean, maybe I don't. Maybe I just haven't become a real master of it yet.
So basically, it's with other people we've used the astrology of healing to be like they look at the body as body parts, right? So then that's what you be. So that's where you judge what you need from it, right? How is the procedure and practice done through this?
Yeah, well, it might be easiest to show you. We'll share our screen.
That'd be awesome.
Okay. So can you still see? Can you see the screen?
I can't at the moment. It's not sharing.
Okay. Okay.
So this is the Medical Astrology Guidebook we wrote, PDF, in 2018, and we just revised it. And I'm really excited for the third edition, which I want to incorporate a horary chapter where you can cast your own horary chart upon the degrees, and you can ask a medical question. And I don't see it really clearly right now, but somehow incorporate horary in this.
Can we do me now then?
Yeah.
So I've got places in the 6th house, Jupiter and Mars.
Okay.
And you've already described me a lot anyway with what you just said about Neptune, because I've got the Sun conjunct Neptune. And so I'm full of poison. I just told you, 7 years, come and get me. I'm poison ivy. I'm a superhero. They've given me so much junk. I've actually gone through the metaverse and come out the other side as the junked up astrologer, full of it. Come and heal me, baby.
That's so interesting because I'm like the opposite. I have Virgo rising, and the worst pharmaceutical I've had is antibiotics as a child, and just here and there. Other than that, I haven't had pharmaceuticals.
I'm jumped up to the eyeballs. So like I've got literally not only Neptune conjunct my Sun, but Pisces in the 6th house of the body.
Oh.
And Jupiter and Mars there. So, oh my goodness, I have been working really hard though at healing. Like these past few years, I've become the healthiest that I've been in years and years, because I've been doing my best to change my diet. I've been going to the gym, and I've been doing yoga every day. But like that still doesn't mean I haven't got I've got my insides to take care of, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, because once you're
not helping me with my anxiety. That I must say, it's making me want to go and hang myself, because and I'm obviously being a bit blasé there, but it's the worst subject and my least favorite subject, which I've pushed away, as you can hear, for quite some time. And so one thing that the doctors didn't give is a bit of compassion. I know you guys have got that, but this is very daunting and scares the fucking shit out of me, which is why I'm swearing so much and being a little bit extrovert, because I hate it. It's my worst subject.
We can help you.
We could help you with your health, easy peasy.
Sure.
We're helping people all the time. People that got vaccinated, they're like pretty much on their deathbed now from that. Yeah, man, there's a lot of ways. Just like fulvic acid, for one, it's just dirt. It draws 60 times.
I need taking to water like a horse that's thirsty. I'm not taking. I couldn't even buy food in the shop today. It brings me too much anxiety. I really am in a victim consciousness with it, to be honest.
I do know how you feel going into a shop, though. I find that it's easier for me to go into like the a market, like a farmer's market, because I don't know, there's something about grocery stores that give me anxiety, and I can't find anything
same
in the store. It's like there's nothing here for me, because there really, I don't think is, because it's not like
there isn't. I left with nothing this day when I went in there, because I was like, this is appalling. I think I'm actually going to feel healthier leaving with nothing rather than queuing up here.
Oh my God.
Well,
Yeah,
that's a good first step.
that's what we do though.
It
It's
was, I
just,
guess. But you know what I did though? I flunked. Then I went to the local coffee shop and I got a coffee, ice cream, and croissant. And I didn't eat the croissant. I did have the coffee. Half the coffee was full of sugar, and
Mhm.
I had to have the ice cream, which was also full of sugar. Another reason of my performance here with you.
it can be turned around. You just need a little coaching.
Yeah.
There's tons of things. We've got about 40 good protocols that you could get in on. Like CMOS would help you a lot. I don't know how easy you can get CMOS in Mexico, but that's a good one. You just get this moss dried from the sea, you hydrate it and blend it, and you drink that every day. You could just do that with smoothies, CMOS smoothie fast for 10 days. Man, you clean out a lot of junk.
Oh, I'd document that. I'd make a 10-day video diary of that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. I'm going
I-
down to Pisces. That's what you wanted to look
Well,
at.
I see that Saturn coming into Pisces by transit this year. It's me thinking, I'm going to focus on this now. Like, I'm going to put all my energy into learning to support myself through this transition of
Yeah.
getting off the junk and being organic.
So Saturn's going into your 6th house. Is that what you're saying?
It
We need
is.
to
And I
move.
would like to, I want to be a dad. I want to have children. And so I want to get my body clean, document it, show people how they can, and then become a father. Because I need to father myself first, right? By being this responsible.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to be clean before you bring your kids in, because your kids will,
They'll inherit.
they'll inherit all the
Clearly, I said
toxins in
this.
your body. Yeah.
I mean, I feel a lot of shame about it. That's why I battened you off there. I'm just
Well-
taking responsibility the best I can here for everything that's coming around in this very intense meeting. So, because it is very confronting for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Emotionally, psychologically, this is a lot.
Well, Saturn, I just had that transit going through my 6th house over the last like 2-3 years. And it's going to do something for you, because I have increased. Before, I was doing a lot of different protocols, but I never did any like cleansing, like deep cleansing. And since Saturn has been in my 6th house, I've been doing liver cleanses, intestinal cleanses, taking even like incorporating even more protocols into my daily life. So it's going to definitely make you more disciplined with those sorts of things.
It's like, the thing is, it's the thing of a Saturday, or even like the Capricorn vibe we've got at the moment. It's like you're boxed in to a corner and you ain't got a fucking choice about it. Like, so it's a must do. That's the responsibility and discipline is like, it's a must do. It's now or never.
Yep.
Yep.
It is.
And that's what we do, health consultations. We could coach you through it easy peasy.
Yep.
They sell MMS all over in Mexico. You could get that. That's what I got in here. That chelates metals. It's just this little, you just put just like 1 drop of this bottle. It's pretty cheap too. It's like $40 for this. You get like 2 months supply. You put a drop of this sodium chloride and then a drop of this hydrochloric acid, and it makes this chlorine dioxide. And then you mix it with water and you just drink that all day. Oxygenates your body. And you know, that's one thing. The CMOS, you could get on the tissue salts. The fulvic, if you could get fulvic acid.
It's a lifestyle, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it really is. It's just all day long. We do protocols all day long, and you can check your.
This is what Virgo means. Though it's like because Virgo was my least ventured or explored sign initially when I was originally learning astrology, but then because it was that area of life that I had least explored, but like I recognize and I can explain Virgo better than almost any of the signs now, because it's the moment that you open your eye to the moment you close your eye that you become a radio channel. And that's how you build your frequency with your actions, with your habits that become your habitat. And so it's actually how we anchor that frequency and build rapport with ourselves, not just through the communication, but through how we choose to spend our time.
Yes.
Because our media is our body. And it's amplified by, excuse my phone, it's going off like an absolute lunatic. So, so basically, it amplifies whatever we're putting our attention on. And so if we feel intense about, you know, like how I've felt about this conversation, That's not a way that you can live. So we need to become okay with things. You need to become ingratiated towards these things and not find them daunting, like a dentist trip. We need to find that we can find charm in it, in a sense.
Right. Well, if this helps any at all, Nick, he was on tons of pharmaceuticals
for a long time. And I was born toxic too, because you can tell by your eye. If you have a brown eye, you're usually really toxic. And you could read your eye and see your progress until you're clean. The brighter blue, and you get all the whites out and the dark specks out, and you're clean. But yeah, I was born toxic. And then from age 10 to 20, I was on synthetic amphetamines from the pharmaceutical industry and synthetic serotonin. And I drank lots of alcohol and lived off fast food. And I felt like hell when I was 21. I started cleansing when I was 21. And yeah, I mean, I'm pretty clean now.
How long's that?
10 years.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I've just gone 4 years without alcohol, which was something which was probably fairly regularly used, except for that last year. But it was definitely a good dousing. But I feel a lot better in myself and not drinking alcohol. And yeah, that's just a good start, at least.
Yep, that's a good. You got rid of that Neptune vice. The vice is Neptune would be alcohol and sleeping.
So the thing is, there's no getting rid of Neptune. So we have to now advance it. So what are we doing with this Neptune of ours? We're alchemizing it. It's not just Poseidon, the poison. We've got to put it in a high octave.
Going to the virtue.
Because it's by my fucking sun. So I'm not good. So what are we going to do about it? I'm not just going to leave it there like some kind of drunk. Right. We're bringing it along for the journey. What are we going to do with our Neptunes?
So your sun's in Capricorn, which degree?
3 degrees. It's my birthday on Monday. It's actually my solar return tomorrow. But this in 24 hours. Thank you.
Capricorn, 3 degrees. So this is a combination of this guidebook is a combination between cell salt information, Santos Bonacci's Syncretism wheel, and then a website I found from a French astrologer, I think, where it has all these degrees, which are incredibly accurate because we've done many readings with them. And
it's funny. But my Neptune's at 5 degrees and the sun's at 3 degrees.
Okay, so Cap 3, cutaneous nerves of upper leg, spine, eyesight blindness, and empty. It's a masculine degree. So that's where your sun is. Cuteness, nerves of upper leg. I wonder what that.
What does that mean? I mean, there's some yoga poses I can't do, but most of them I'm good at.
Did you know that Capricorn's the yoga sign?
The yoga sign.
Yeah, because it's like the goat that balances while he's climbing the mountain. He does like all the yoga moves while he stands on the vertical wall.
Awesome. I'm pretty good at it. I'm going to do a training in March.
Yeah,
I was just balancing eggs while I was cycling today. I did actually get some food from the local market. I was like, I'll just get something, which I wasn't really pleased with. Like cycling back.
Yeah,
balancing.
You know they say yoga is from the devil or from Satan. Well, Saturn rules Capricorn. Capricorn's a yoga sign.
I got passionate to the other day, so I'm gonna bring these people in on Instagram. I'm gonna do memes, and I'm gonna do a picture of explain how the Christ consciousness love is Satan imagery on the tarot card, and have to break it down and explain what it means very clearly, because I have got to my wit's end with regards to this not being interpreted correctly. You're very correct that it's actually Saturn's realm that teaches us how to conduct ourselves so we can be clear on ourselves within our body, within our temple. And that's Christ consciousness, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose. And Saturn rules
it's the Pink Panther.
And Saturn's the skeletal system too. Mm-hmm. So I mean, what are you without a skeletal system? You're just going to be a blob of mess on the ground. So it gives you
the backbone.
Yeah, the structure.
Yeah. But your sun is on this nerve right here.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's funny because my as you can see, my posture is awful. The first like 7 years, just slouched in front of the TV, like going to the gym and building muscles these past couple of months since September or so with Mars retrograde has been giving me a new sense of masculinity and actually building muscles so I can sit up correctly and stuff like this. A bit more.
Nice.
It's true. This is actually foundational. And very powerful for Capricorn medicines, and I did it through observation, and now I'm only a third of the way of incorporating this, because if you've got no muscles in your core, then you're not going to be able to sit up.
Right.
And so this has been my experience. I was like, why am I got such bad backbone and like spina bifida coming on, and the nerve?
That's interesting because your sun's on your spine too.
That's what I mean. Yeah, like Capricorn is the spine, and like so this is that, and the nerve ending you say in it as well is very interesting because that's about the connection to the channel.
Yes.
The central nervous system is like Uranian. It's like because like before we wouldn't know about that, but we would just still say.
Oh, look at this. Neptune is on 5 degrees, sleep in trance. That's quite a landing for Neptune to land on such a degree.
Wow,
interesting.
That's syncretic. Yeah.
I mean, I do love a good sleep. I don't think I had a good sleep last night, but like, like
I don't think we did either.
I think that's a theme right now today. I think it's because the energy was super duper ramped. Venus charged trine Uranus right now, and also like there was another thing. Oh yeah, this square between Jupiter is like a lot of, and Neptune with the sextile to Mercury is really overthinky.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, like what we do in our medical astrology readings is if anybody has any questions and wants to see like particularly, what degrees, what body parts that their planets land on, then we'll look at the specific degrees. And then like if you're wondering too for yourself or for somebody you're doing a reading for, you can also look at the symptoms of a calcium phosphate
of that sign's mineral deficiency.
Yeah,
Capricorn is calcium phosphate.
So then you can apply the salt that's necessary when it's in deficiency. And so basically, like for the people who may not be aware, like we're in our mothers for 9 months, and so we're deficient of 3 zodiac signs of the salt, which
3 to 4, depending if you were born like at the beginning, middle, or end of the sign.
Optimally speaking, it would be 3 if you're born first degree of that sign. But since you were out of the womb for 90 days, that would account for 90 degrees of the zodiac. So if you were born 15 degrees Capricorn, then it'd go 15 degrees to the next sign. That would be 30 days, and then 15 degrees to Pisces. That would be 60 degrees, and then 15 degrees to the middle of Aries. So that would be 30 days that you were out of the womb, if you were out 30 days exactly, but generally I think most of us were. So you would a lot of people are missing the fact that they also need that 15 degrees Aries, or that 4th sign.
Yeah.
So that's another thing we've worked out. So you typically need 4 unless you were born at the 0, 1st, or 2nd degree of a sign. And then the South Node seems to draw minerals wherever it's at. It seems everyone needs the mineral for their ascendant. And then for the houses even, the 8th house would be associated with Scorpio. So if you have a stellium of planets in Scorpio and they have red lines to them, like squares or oppositions, it appears many, many times that person has problems with their generative system, because Scorpio is a generative system and the 8th house is Scorpio's house. And they will have that deficiency, and they will have the deficiency symptoms like a pale white face if you're missing calcium phosphate, the mineral for Scorpio, etc. So the whole house system is a repeat of the signs, and a lot of people are missing that too. And moreover, you also need the salt. Say you have a T-square to Mars and Cancer. It's in fall in Cancer. Mars is a malefic. T-squares are really malefic. Well, you're going to need calcium fluoride for that T-square too. And if it's in the 10th house, Capricorn salt, you need Capricorn salt too. So often we tell people, we'll give them the whole reading and tell them, wow, you really need this one, you really need this one. And this is why, you know, your face is turning pale. This is why you have these symptoms, and this salt will help that. But take all 12. And if you can, which you probably should, take double of the ones you really need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the ones that you're really deficient in, you need to take a lot more of.
3, 4, 5 times more.
But our bodies are made up of all 12. And that's what eventually kills the human body, is the deficiency in the mineral cell salts.
So, sorry again. So we're a pH scale, and this pH scale can be divided into 12, which would be known as the zodiac. And these have got various different alchemical properties. And so to bring them into equality, we can use these salts, and our natal chart is our prescription.
Exactly.
Boom, you guys are the best doctors I've ever spoken to.
Yep.
This is great. This is actually bringing the wealth of everything together into a bow.
Yes. Yeah. And not only is, you know, do we recommend mineral cell salts, there's also, you know, foods, the calcium phosphate foods. So this is Capricorn, calcium phosphate's Capricorn.
So useful. I mean, I've not looked at that list, but if we look at it for a moment, I've got some questions.
For sure. Yep.
So I have learned and done a little research on this. As I said, no expert, but Capricorn can gain a lot from the lunar foods, like the cucumber foods, because Cancer's opposite. So the alchemy is, this is what I recognize. As I say, no expert. Then when we look at this, and I see the first thing that jumps out is cucumbers and avocados.
Yeah.
And I love the old avocado toast. They even laugh. And when I show up at the local restaurants, because they know that's what I'm having.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because Capricorn is cold and dry, like in December.
Yes.
And so, yeah, you would probably want to supplement that with moist foods.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like, you know, all these here are pretty moist. Garbanzo beans are a little drying.
The fruits, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So what Capricorn would not want to do is, like, what I used to do, my habit was I'd order Indian with lots of pitta. I'm not just talking about the bread. I'm talking about the heat of it, and that's the worst for Capricorn. I will still go and have that next time I go back to the UK, because I do love it. But the thing is, you should not live like that. You should live off the cucumber. The rarity of me having a cucumber is phenomenal. I'm not like, but I it's something that would take a big incorporation to bring in. But like, I look at this and I see, like, this is what I need to learn about and ingratiate myself to. We can reprogram. I've had a phobia with food, which got me into this state in the first place, like a disorder, since I was a little boy. And so, but basically, I was hypnotized when I was, I don't know, probably about 24, so 5. And there was just like, okay, well, be present. And by that point, I'd had all kinds of things in my mouth, like all kinds of things that we shan't go into. But like, the point is that I would still not want to put a cucumber in there. And so the hypnotist said that, imagine if you got a cucumber or something in there, or squid. Oh, a squid. Oh. Yeah, I still don't want a squid in there. But like, that would make me cringe. But even like the idea of fig or prune right now, you know, but like, so you could be present. I could deal with a fig or prune in my mouth. Can you actually deal with the fear and be present while that's there? Because you know, at the end of the day, in all sense and sensibility, this fig or prune ain't going to start jumping out and killing me,
right,
or shouting at me, or telling me to eat a squid or anything. That thing's just going to sit in my mouth and allow me to be present, if I can allow it to be present. And so that's basically an instant reprogramming and to dismiss the fear.
And it's going to give you that mineral cell salt that you need.
Yeah, so it's like also you think about that. So you think about all of the nutritions and like the game. That's better than a lottery win because the golden ticket is the body.
Right.
Without the body, our spirit's a ghost, and it can't create in the physical realm.
Yeah.
But with the body, it's got a temple, and we can do all sorts. And so we got to treat it with love by doing this medicine.
Yes.
Cucumbers also have vitamin K2 in the skin, and that helps calcium phosphate that runs wild in the bloodstream to be bound to the bone.
So don't peel it. Sits in the skin of the cucumber.
Vitamin K2. So that's another reason why cucumbers are good for Capricorns.
That's funny because Capricorn also rules the skin. And so include that skin. Include the skin. I'm going to ask you a question and I'm going to grab my phone. I know I put it somewhere because it kept making loads of noise, but I'm going to check it. But my question is, I've got the planets in my 6th house. The degrees are 16 and 20.
What sign?
Of Pisces.
Right, Pisces.
So they're going to be very interesting ones because it's my 6th house, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Every Capricorn moon, we talk to a Capricorn. Yes. Every Aquarius moon, we talk to an Aquarius. Comes the Pisces moon, Santos will be around. Comes the Aries moon, we'll talk to Santos again. Yeah. Taurus moon, then we'll be a guest at somebody else's house because we're Taurus. It's the theme of it. We're talking to a Capricorn, doing a Capricorn reading on Capricorn moon. Every time. We say this every single 3 days for the last 3 years. Wow, an Aquarius came over and talked to us for 3 hours, and it's an Aquarius moon. It's every single moon we talk to a person that has that sign.
That is mad, isn't it? So I've got so Crystal, what's your sign? What's your ascendant?
Taurus sun, Virgo
You're
rising.
Both what rising?
Virgo rising.
Virgo. So you're both Earth, you're Taurus and Virgo. And so it's funny because that's Venus and Mercury, and Venus and Mercury are in Capricorn right now. It's isn't that mad? I've got a Libra ascendant, so that is well.
Right. I have a Libra moon.
What degree? Well, we're there.
19.
Oh, very interesting. That's like between my moon and South Node.
Cool. Yeah.
So 16 degrees of Pisces.
Okay.
Right.
What's this?
Cruciate.
The cruciate ligaments of the right foot and the nerves.
I had a really dark spell, and I can't believe we're going into this. And it was actually in another life. I was always hung by one foot, like the hanged man.
And do you have anything in Taurus or the 2nd house?
I'd always have a limp because of it in my life. In my waking life, I'd have a limp because my leg was broken. So anything in Taurus, did you say?
Yeah.
I have nothing in Taurus.
Second house?
I have Venus in Scorpio in the 2nd house and Pluto too.
I was going to ask if Venus is afflicted too, because Venus is the neck, and maybe that could be.
Well, no, he was hung by his foot.
You hung by your foot. I was wondering why your foot hurt. You fell and broke it after your hung by your foot
in a past life.
That's amazing, huh?
Let's see if it shows exactly.
See, I was Taurus rising, and I was hung in my past life from my neck because Taurus is the neck.
I wonder what it's not showing exactly where the nerve is, but I wonder what foot it was.
I think
it's the left here. I can just feel it, like, you know what I mean?
So it is your left foot. This one says that it would be your right foot. But
I think for a while it would happen. This sounds really dark. It would happen every day. I was killed every day, and each day I'd wake up and it would happen again. And I was hung by the same foot. That sounds like, how's that work?
What degree and minute is it at?
Oh, 16 and a bit. I can't tell you right this instant.
Sometimes it's close to 17 or 15. It manifests in that.
Oh, okay. That's interesting because my sun is actually closer to 4 degrees.
Okay. We should look that up.
Right.
So yeah, the 16 is 1636 and the 20 is 2035 in Pisces.
Right in the middle. Okay. So maybe look at 4 degrees for Cap, but those are accurate. They're usually right on left and right foot, but they are right next to each other. So, you know, even if they're accurate,
it's so funny, isn't it? They're the left and the right foot. And so what's the 20 degrees? That's for the
Right.
Mars.
Right fibular muscle, your reflexes, digestive ailments or excessive eating,
Interesting.
and increasing portion. Yeah.
What's that?
Increasing
Mercury?
fortune. That's all right. I wouldn't mind that. I've got it.
What planets are these? 16 and 20?
This is Mars.
Oh, okay.
20 is
Oh,
Mars.
it's dead feminine. That's a right good place to have Mars.
Right, yeah.
And yeah, and it depends what planet it is too. If it's a malefic and detriment and it's on the thing on one of these, that degree that it's on will usually be negatively affected if it's a malefic in general, especially if it's a malefic in detriment and poorly aspected. But if it's just a benefic, they usually aren't, they usually don't affect any of these body parts unless it's got a strong opposition to a malefic or it's in detriment.
I would have before I went on to these bastard things. The symptoms was I'm fucking burning. My neck's burning, my chest's burning. I can't cool down. It's fucking freezing outside. I'm going out there. And I was gonna have to, and then eventually it would calm down, and it was such a relief because you can't escape the body. And obviously, I'm grateful for the body, but like, in those times, it was a bit like I want to get out of here. Wasn't happy. I was at my wit's end. It's scary to know that you've got to face this stuff because that's likely to be something that has to be faced, right?
Yeah, yeah, it does. Yeah. And it's not, it's a
And
mind
the itch,
thing.
there's also chronic itching, the same as
Yeah,
Santos.
too.
Terrifically chronic itching. You can't even get your, like, there's no point.
That's that's Pisces, because Pisces it rules the integumentary system, which is the skin. And you know, Santos has Chiron conjunct Vertex in Pisces. Vertex is the second descendant. Chiron is the wounding. He has that at 12 degrees. He's got his moon at 15 degrees Pisces. He's got his Mercury in detriment and fall in Pisces, the skin. He's got Jupiter amplifying the detriment Mercury in Pisces. And he's got his sun only 2 degrees, 2 degrees Aries, which is pretty darn close to Pisces too. And in Vedic, he's got everything in Pisces. He's also has Mars in the 12th house, and the 12th house is Pisces house, also the integumentary system, which is the skin.
Yeah, so he's totally deficient the iron phosphate.
So clearly he'd be struggling from skin issues and sleep, because Pisces in the 12th house have to do with sleep and the skin and iron phosphate. And when you're deficient iron phosphate, your blood travels into your inner organs and your pores on your skin close, and the closed pores do not allow a discharge of poisonous detoxing gases, and rather they go in, and you develop all sorts of organ and skin problems when the toxins can't escape and there's no blood flow in the skin.
Yeah, because our bodies are constantly like off-gassing.
There's like 2,600 pores per square inch, quarter-inch long tubes that jet stream out waste. Your skin is just spraying waste all the time. Yeah, and if you're deficient,
we are sewage plants, aren't we? Like, with regards to, like, I mean, I'll speak for myself. You guys might have cleaned up and not be in such wretched habits, but like the vast majority of people are not taking care of their sewage. I've never had a colonic, but I'm quite aware of how prosperous that could be, and many people do that. I've got to go, as you can hear. I've got to go. My phone is going bananas. This has been tremendous. I'm really grateful for you. This has been really exciting. Where can people contact you? Oh my gosh, this phone is doing my nut.
You can go to crystalclearcompass.com is our website. Email.
Stop sharing your screen, please, and say it again.
Okay, stop share. Okay, so our website is crystalclearcompass.com. You can contact us through there. Otherwise, if you just want to go straight to email, it's clarity@crystalclearcompass. And see where else.
That's
We're on social media.
Facebook, Nicolas Schizzano.
I'll put all the links below anyway, regardless. So it's good that people can obviously be familiar with you, because I think that you're taking a position of power and you're sharing your very valuable wisdom, of experiential wisdom. And it's practical and it's grounded. It's not woo-woo. This is as grounded as it gets into the garden, into the heart. And so this is something that we need to put into our education on all levels. And so I'm going to see you guys in the garden with your instruments, and we're going to play music for our bodies together. And so we're all going to harmonize, we're going to do astrology, we're going to dance, we're going to eat good food. And I think this is something we're going to share all over the world in many different communities in the months and the years to come. And I feel that people resonating will be feeling that hum and that green light, yes. And golden delicious is all I can say. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
that's what I envision, definitely.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for taking the time to share today. I'm really grateful for you guys. I'm going to put all the links in the description box for people to find your stuff.
Okay.
But we're moving into 2023. It's going to go like a lightning bolt, but it's going to be so much that happens, and I'm really grateful to be in alignment with you guys. Thank you so much for sharing your presence.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Thank you.